Hanji. My name is Tirlok Singh Sethi. I live here in Paramus, 754 Manchester Way, Paramus, New Jersey. I'm here in this house for the last 15 years. Most of the time I've been in Bergen County since 1970. I came from Canada. Before I lived there 2 years. Before that I lived in England for 1 year, and before that I was in Delhi from 1947 through 1967.
And Uncle D, where were you born?
I was born in a small village named as Uthwal, Uthwal, part of Tehsil Chakwal at that time, which is a district now, and Jhelum district under Rawalpindi Commissionary, not far away from Manmohan Singh's birthplace, Gaya, 10 miles, and not far away from his wife's birthplace, Sharan Kaur, village Dhakkam, 4 miles from my home.
Could you just tell us a little bit growing up, what your family was like?
Well, I was born in April 1938, and as far as I remember, my childhood was not a big family. At that time, my eldest sister was married, and I was hardly 2 when she got married. My 2 elder brothers, they were studying in the neighboring high schools in Chakwal, and I was there till the age of 5 when I started going to the local primary school, where my father was a teacher, and my basic education was there in the primary school until partition, and then we were dislocated and moved to different places.
So growing up in your neighborhood, what was it like? What kind of people were there?
It was a small village, about 25 families of Sikhs and 2 families of Sajdari Sikhs. They call them Suniaras or jewelers, and 1 family of Pandits. Rest were about 100-150 families of Muslims. And both communities were living so well, peacefully together until this, hatred, the politics and partition movement started. Everybody was living in a perfect harmony.
So, going up to this movement, did you sense any sort of tension or anything of that sort?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Of course, the Sikhs were they were proud of their bravery right from the time of Ranjit Singh rule, and Muslims, they respected us, and as mostly because the Sikh families, they were rich and educated, and most of the Muslim families, their only source was either they were working for people in the farm, or they sent their sons to the war during that time, because Britishers needed a lot of soldiers, and they recruited a lot of soldiers. Those Muslims, they sent their sons to the war, World War I and II, and that was a big recruiting source, because Chakwal was known for good soldiers, that area. And a lot of big generals came from that area.
So, just, thank you so much for giving us the context. Now, moving on to the partition, first of all, how old were you when it occurred?
To be exact, when this forward started, that was March of 1947. Prior to that, the things were brewing up. The only source would be the local Urdu papers, where Muslim League had their offices set in small villages, coordinators, and they will bring all the news on behalf of Muslim League, and they were preaching for the cause of a separate nation known as Pakistan. And so the people were mostly, so what? Everything is going to be fine. Even if the Britishers leave, still we'll be divided, we'll be still living together. We lived under Britishers, now we live with Muslims, let them be the ruler. So there was no feeling that there will be hatred and mass killing. They never had a feeling of that.
Did you ever feel that you would have to, relocate?
Absolutely not. Till the real riots started, it was early March, and before that we used to hear stories, because that area after 45, 46, The entire area was because Britishers were engaged with World War II with Japan as allies to the America, and once in a while we'll see a plane coming flying up, and this is, oh, this is a Japanese plane, oh, this is a English plane, and that was the only thing we heard. So nothing beyond that. However, we did see some Akali movements before. They used to go and fight for Sikh cause, against the Britishers, like Nankana Sahib Saka and all that. They will come and take Akalis right there to go in that morcha. That was the only thing. That was, but again, that was for our own religion, and Muslim had nothing to do with that. That was fighting with the government and their atrocities.
So when you first heard of it, what was your first thought?
First thought about when the one day it was March, and all of a sudden I was hardly, that was 8-year-old, 30, and the second grade or third grade I was a student, and all of a sudden some friendly Muslims came and they told my father, people from the other villages, the Muslim mobs are coming to rob you guys, and you better find a safe place. That was like a shock. But maybe all elder people or those learned people, they knew something. Some of the people in our village, they were involved with the politics, they knew that. But my father till last minute said, oh, nothing, don't worry, everything will be fine. And then we had to really literally go and hide somewhere, and then we went to the neighboring Muslim house, and then they said, no, this house is so close because these Sikh families were in the middle, and when they come they'll find out that we crossed over from the top of their house, then went back, and we literally stayed behind, and they locked the door from outside just to make sure, there's nobody here, and they told us just to keep quiet. And then people from other villages came with drums and this and camels and mules and donkeys and whatnot, because they came to rob everybody, to take all the goods, And then we were just sitting and praying, saving our life. People had no guts to go and fight with big mobs from God knows how many villages, and because they all came with big weapons, And then finally, when this thing was over, we were hiding a night before, and then finally they will tell us, oh, now they are robbing, now they are burning the houses, now they've gone. Then the people will sneak out, oh, it looks like everything is clear. Then we came back to our house to find everything is gone. Nothing left. They even dragged people, especially in our community, they were big farmers. Other people worked. They will have big sacks of wheat, gram, and all those grains. They dragged them, and while they were dragging, something was left on the floor. And I'll never forget that scene. My mother took a broom and she swept it, gathered all that, washed it with water. It was left in a pitcher to wash it. And that day I remember she boiled it and borrowed salt from the neighboring Muslim, and that was our dinner that night. But what else? Yeah.
So, looking back on it, how do you think that the partition really affected you, your family, and community?
It did, because my two brothers, one was still in high school, the other one had graduated from high school, and he had moved to Quetta with my eldest sister. He had got a job in railway and he was serving there. So they didn't know what's happening. They were in touch with either through newspaper or through, some mail. And everywhere, all around, we were lucky in this respect that in our village, the Muslims, by the influence of my father and nice relation, they did not kill anyone. But neighboring villages, some of the villages, they really totally massacred. Kahuta was first village. There was a total massacre, and people were shocked. And even Probably you read in the book Freedom at Midnight, they say when the Sikhs were massacred, and they say now there's going to be real some big problem because Sikhs cannot take that. But nothing happened because people were either they were afraid or they were small in numbers. And some of the people from our village, whosoever went to a neighboring village to visit the relatives, and they lost their life. And my own father's sister, cousin sister, one village known as Ghog, only 8 miles, all the women in that village, Sikh women, they jumped in the well to save themselves, otherwise Muslim will take them away as in their harem or whatever. So this was a sad story. And we stayed there in that location praying. Then the government control was British government. They started sending some police officers and they set up some posts. And that was, I believe, was a hogwash. But there was some kind of a consolence to the people. Yeah, now government is there, they're taking care. And some of the people like my father, oh, don't worry, the government's changed. Now, so what if there's a Pakistan coming up? So we'll be working under a Muslim government, so what? But the things were different. No, those things became worse and worse every day. But my father still heard that because he was not only a teacher, he was a branch post office master also. He set up the post office because of his hardship, and he was like wearing 2 hats. One, he was branch post office master, and still for the website. And someday it came, I looked into that, I went on website, I show you the paper, I say somebody knows about that post office was started by my father, and somebody knows, will let me know. A lot of people later on responded, good job by Master Hari Singh Sethi and that post office, the full-fledged post office, and the guys were so nice. Thanks to him, they still remember my father for good cause. But otherwise my father was so stubborn that we moved to the nearing big city where there was a lot of army protection, but my father still said, oh, I'm going to stay here, nothing will happen. Finally, those people, some of the students my father taught, and they came, Master Ji, this is a time for you, we can't help you. They found out there are still 2 or 3 Sikh families still surviving, and they're coming to kill you. So my father had to dress like a Muslim woman in a burqa, and they got a tongue, and then he came joined us in neighboring big town. There was a lot of protection of army. And then from there, then there was like always moving out, going back to India, partition. But he knew that now when the trains were coming, they will massacre, and then one train from this side will go, the Muslim and the Hindus and Sikhs in Punjab, East Punjab will massacre, butcher them, vice versa, and it's all over, bloodshed, and that's all the news we heard. And there was no communication. The only communication was through the radio will say, oh, the family was so and so, we have reserved for you some air flight, please reach there. And my father was in government service, and he had the privilege of flying by plane to India. So when we were there in Chakwal, there's a big place in Gurdwara, wherever, and we made 3 attempts. The plane will come and we'll be lined up in an army truck and we'll go there, but sometimes people will go there and those people, they'll bribe and they'll go, and other people will be left. And when you will be left, those Muslims are out there adjoining village, they'll come and they'll take your luggage. Then one Captain Singh, he did a good planning. He says, watch it at the airplane. When the one plane comes, then he had trucks ready. When one plane comes, this truck will move. It was uncertainty whether plane comes. And finally, when my father's turn came, he was there, and they will let us take only 2 pieces of luggage. So we took the plane, 50 miles away, we landed in Ambala. That was a safe haven for us. In the meanwhile, they were miserable that probably your relatives, you don't know where your brother is, you don't know where your sister is, hardly anybody knew. And always would be bad news. Even when we were in a big tehsil, Chakwal, with a lot of presence of military, but then one nice Muslim officer. He was the deputy superintendent of police, whatever. He maintained the control. But once he stepped out from somewhere, then the people from neighboring villages will come to attack. And one time we all heard that they are coming, and they are today is the last day, will be dead. And luckily that day there was a big road passing through that goes from, that's part of the Grand Trunk Road that comes from all the way Peshawar, passing through that area. And luckily some Sikh army regiments were coming in that truck, and they put some shots up in the air for their own safety. And those rioters, they thought, oh, army is coming, and they ran away. So luckily we were saved. Had those trucks not come, probably I'll not be sitting here. Would have been one of the dead ones. So then we came to Ambala, and then this part of India, and then we were staying there. The next question was where to go. My eldest brother was in Delhi also, because one of the very rich relatives, they had already were established in Delhi, and that lady insisted. My father was stubborn. You stay here, but let me take your one son at least, so that he survives. So my brother was already there, so we knew he is in Delhi. And now the question was going from Ambala to Delhi. How? All the trains were full, no place to go, and any train stops, people will climb up on the top of the train. Can you believe that? Literally push each other. We managed to go on the top of that train, and that train was supposed to go from Ambala to Delhi, hardly 150 miles. But then the downstairs were in the main bogies were all the army moving from one place to another. Nobody can sit there. So, and then the engine driver, these are old locomotives, they run by coal and water, steam, and they say he stopped at 5 miles before Kurukshetra to get some water and all that. And people asked him, wait a minute. He said, no, I'm stopping here, because if I stop in Kurukshetra, then probably few more thousand people will come and they will topple the train. So he stopped before, took the engine only, got some water and coal, and then came back. So finally we reached Delhi. That's how we escaped. And every time, even till today, and my father, even when he was there in Delhi, we know Delhi, we settled hard work, whatever. We were having a vegetable hawker shop on the pavement. I remember like that. And where to start? We had nothing. Maybe 3 pajamas, kapde, few rupees. That's all we had. But the good thing was we had courage. We had the spirit. Some relatives will invite us, rich people, for one-day meals. But they did help us. My father was a teacher. He got a teaching job. And then my 2 brothers, one was in high school, passed high school, he started a job. My elder brother next to me was in 8th grade, and he said, no problem. He saw we can start some business. So he saw vegetables, people need that. We went to vegetable market, early morning, 5 o'clock. We get some vegetable. My father will go, 5 o'clock, get the vegetable, put on that pavement, like you go sometimes see in the country, all karele, toriyan, bindi, and we'll have it there, we'll sell it. And then one day my brother, middle one, he thought the eggs are a good business. So we went to Jama Masjid, not far away, got eggs. We sell raw eggs, and then we will boil them, and we'll sell those eggs, dayane ya tinane da anda. And people still, those people, even those refugees were called Sharnarthi, whosoever had some money, say, hey, come on, whatever money hai, let's enjoy it. And I remember that egg will sell for 2.5 dayane da, and would make some money. So gradually going to this, then from that little shop, then we made a khoka with the wooden, then we went to the dry fruit business. And we started growing up step by step. That's why Nehru called us not Sharnarthi, Pursharthi. They are hard workers, and they changed the shape of Delhi. It's a history. But again, excuse me. But my father, even sometime in the middle of night, he will have nightmares. Oh, I'm going back. When I'm going back to my village, because we were like king. And one day, excuse me, I remember the only thing we could offer in a family of 3 brothers, 4 sisters, one was married, but still mother 6, and one of my buaji, my father's sister, she was widowed, she was staying with us. Can you believe how to feed that? And only milk that we'll get was they'll go get some milk, and that'll be enough to make tea only. And gradually when they started getting a little more money, okay, now give some milk those people who are working. Like my brother is working, you have to work there 12 hours, 14 hours to make, 2 ends meet. And then because I was a student, and my mother will give me some milk also. I was very good in studies. No, thoda dudh deo, dimag landa hai. Yeah, you need some milk. And one day I said, Father, I never see you, Father. Oh, Yeji, I never see you drinking milk. He started crying. He said, what kind of person I am? Jina main khada dudh kyo makhan. You understand what I'm saying? Ande murgi in village, farm, murgiyan kardiyan, dudh garda. जिसले कुछ बनाया हो छोड़, मेरी मदर ने कहना छोड़, तेनू कोई नहीं बनाना, मुर्गी पकड़ी, चिकन बना लिया, और कोई नहीं, 10-15 अंडे तोड़े, दूध च पा लिया, देसी घ्यो पा लिया, करदा ते होए। ये कहंदा मैं ते हैरान होना वा कि मैं जिन्नी खुराक खाधी है तुसी सोच भी नहीं सकदे, हुण तुहाडा टाइम खाण दा है, you don't have anything to eat, but we survived. But he believed in good education. He sent me to technical college, Delhi Polytechnic, and good education. Then I married a very intelligent lady also, and her parents were equally sent this way, and this good education brought us here. We are here by virtue of our education. So that's basically where we are. But again, of course, do I miss my village? Now after I saw this one day, I went on website and I am just a habit of website, Utwal, my village. And there the caption appears, branch post office Utwal. I said, post office? I said, that was started by my father. I went on there and I put down, this post office was started by my father in 46 to help the local Muslim population whose sons were in the army, and those people had to go to the neighboring village, and my father's office, they started that. If somebody knows that, please let me know. 3 or 4 individuals wrote, thanks to Master Hari Singh Sethi, that post office is great, this is the noble deed he did. And I thought maybe, and later on, 6 months back, one guy from my village, he read that thing again, and he called me. He got my number. He says, I'm 19-year-old. I live in that village, and I read about your father. A whole village talks about your father, that he was a noble person. Could you please tell us more? And I'm doing some diploma in mechanical engineering, whatever. And I said, do you know? He explained to me that I live there. I could literally tell him that if you go that way, there's a well, you come across, then the mosque, turn around. And he said, you drew such a good picture, you still remember? I said, yes. I spent 8-9 years of my early childhood. And your mom knows that. Chachi Ji Iqbal Kaur, she was the only person from that village. We used to sit down together. I could tell how many wells there were there, who people they were. Memories, childhood memories. You can never forget that. If you ever read Tagore and English prose selection, I remember Tagore's childhood, my childhood, those things you remember. And I tell stories about that to my grandkids, and they listen. Yeah, because childhood, that's a golden period which you can never, ever forget. And you take that with you till you die. And those people, he begged me to send pictures of my father, which I'm collecting that, so that they say they want to put my father's picture in the post office, because no one's, yeah. But overall, people were not bad. They were the politicians, and unnecessary. Millions of people were killed for nothing. Maybe it was politics, maybe the Britishers wanted that, or maybe that was when fanatic people from the both sides that did it. And people can't believe it's the land of Guru Nanak and all those people, and here this thing is happening. But that was probably the fate, destiny, whatever.
So looking back on it, did you ever think that your life could change so drastically?
You can't go back, because the way I think, I spent only 8 years of my life in that little village, and those memories, sweet, good, mostly sweet and good. It was nobody's fault. Partition, they didn't have to do that. I can never get those things back. Sometime in my dreams, I still think I'm going there. And when I go back, one of my brother is there in Delhi still. And anytime I go in Delhi, I sit down with my brother. Both of us, he's 4 years older than I am. We both say, Papa ji, tusi ude gali kaun rehanda si. For hours and hours, we two brothers are talking as if we are going through that street. Can you imagine? You can't go to a place where you were born. I did think of going. Some of our people went there. And anytime people go there, they ask about Masterji's family. If somebody is here, I thought a lot of time. But anytime I planned, there's again a big blast in Chakwal Masjid. There's another blast somewhere there. And people say, don't come there. Especially you are traveling with American passport, forget it. They say you have good relation with Sikhs. But once the Al-Qaeda, those people find you are carrying an American passport, forget it. They will do anything to extort money from American government. So that stops me. But whether before I die, can I go there? Maybe next life. Maybe. Then some personal tragedies. I lost my son. So I still promised that guy that I'll send the picture, but I cannot collect myself together. I say, whenever he calls, he still keeps calling me. I say, give me some time, and send the pictures. That's what it is. But do I regret? Maybe God wanted that way. The only thing is you have to adjust yourself. Then we went through, found a new career. I changed my profession from a textile engineer to accountant, to business, whatever. But that's good. Life is change. Sometimes you change it. And maybe I made more money than I would have. But the question is, I don't know. It's hard to say. And sometimes people say, I was at one time attending a religious seminar where part of my job, they say, when you die, what kind of epitaph or this stone on your grave you want? They write down there. And my answer was shocking when I told them. I said, just put down, came from earth. I said, what do you mean? I say, I don't know where will I die. According to Guru Nanak, maybe I could be going to another planet. And who knows, in our own time, my grandkids will be going there and they will ask for a migration. I'll go there the way I've been calling my brother and sister here. I wind up getting an immigration in some other planet. And when I die there, I say, just put on there, although we cremate, but if there is something left, I say, just put on, came from earth. That's all.
So, could you talk a little bit about your parents when you were growing up, pre-partition?
Yes. My parents were so much dedicated, so much family oriented, and so much caring for the family, which as any parent would be. My father and my mother, they were so religious. And today, if I have some feeling towards my community in Gurdwara, I owe that to my father and mother, both. Because my father will get up and mother both will get up every day early morning 4 o'clock, and though they will have to get water from a well not in their house, little further, they will go पानी का घड़ा लैके पहले गुरुद्वारे देंगे, फिर नहाणगे, नहा के फिर उठ के पाठ शुरू करेंगे. पाठ करके I remember just like yesterday, because my two brothers were in the neighboring high school and I was there all the time like clinging to them, and they'll start, even though they will have arguments, but one thing in the morning 4 o'clock they'll sit together and start reciting Sukhmani. And my mother, they may not do the whole Sukhmani, दो अष्टपदियाँ करके लास्ट अष्टपदी जेले पहुँचे गए ना, उधर भी लास्ट टू सेंटेंस ये ओ जी ने दान जपे, they will take sometimes half an hour. They enjoy it, and I used to enjoy. And what a peace! And any time I go back on my father's death, when he died there and we're doing Sukhmani, I said, let us recite the way my father used to recite. And people liked it. And even same when he died, Sukhmani part, the last Aspadi, I started. Because I was as if my father sitting next to me and reading Sukhmani with me. And you know what? Although after partition I studied in a DAV school, which was a RS Maji school, but they gave me so much respect. They would ask me, do you pray? I said, yeah, but I do my own prayer. And your answer was, who says that you have to do our prayer? As long as you do your prayer, the question is you do it or not. And I was one of the top leading, running this, and I was so much dedicated, and that's where I learned about talking, addressing the groups, and that credit goes to my father. My father was just an 8th grader. Because even after you do 8th grade, you can get a good job those days. If you're a high school, you'll get a good job in the city. And if you are a BA, undergraduate, you will get a good job somewhere up in district. But my father had the capability of addressing people as no lawyer, no attorney could talk. And in our families, whenever there was an argument, they will say, call Master Ji. And my father had that such convincing quality that he will. And I can narrate you one time in Delhi, my father later, toward the end of his years, became blind, and he was totally depending on my mother, that my mother will be taking him. And my sister was in Rajendra Nagar, it was a good part, and they will stop there. There was a Gurpurab, Dasmi Pashaida. My father, because he was not in a mood to go to Gurdwara and see the Jalus, so my mother went there to my sister in Rajendra Nagar, because the Rakabganj is not far away. And my sister first question was, Bhabhi, bhaiyan ghar chhod aayi hain tu? Vare rati wale din? My mother said, okay, I'll be back, Parmeshri. She took a 3-wheeler, went home, got my father, and he said, I'll see you. Then she met him at Rakabganj Gurdwara, and guess what? She went there, and my father was going there, and the TV people, Doordarshan people came the way you are asking me, Sardar ji, tuada ki khayal hai? Oh my God, my father started giving a speech about Guru Gobind Singh. People could not believe. He's loaded with knowledge, and he was seen all over TV on Doordarshan, and all the relatives said, Master ji ne to kamal kar deti. Those were the great memories. I still rejoice from my father. And down here in Gulana Gurdwara, your mom knows that, they always ask me to stand up and for collection and all that. And one time Pritam Singh, who is not feeling well, we went to Bridgewater Gurdwara. कहने लगा उगराई करन जाना, सेठी साहब नाल लेके जाओ. कहने अच्छा. Then I went there, and now somebody gave me a task. I better be prepared. And it's a noble task. And I was there, then I listened to one guy before. You have to do some preparation this way in your, notes here, there. And when I started talking, and the Zaida's brother, Jarnail Singh, he is still there, and he कहता मैं जुतियाँ ला रहा सी, तो मैं आवाज़ सुनी कोई बड़ा तकड़ा बुलारा आया है. ते अग्गे देखा ते अपने सेठी साहब ने एनीवे वी कलैक्टेड अनफ मनी ते वो बाद कहने लगा सेठी साहब तुसी कित्थों सीखिया है एंड यू नो प्रीतम सिंह व्हाट ही आंसर्ड पाजी ये सिक्ख्या नहीं होंदा ये टैलेंट है ये पिछों आंदा है माँ प्यो कोलों आंदा है दादे दादी कोल आंदा है so that's where my parents were and my mother she could just thumbprint she couldn't write even but if I can say you she was in her practical way of life she was probably better than anybody holding a PhD in human behaviors bringing the family. Let me quote you one incident. I always try to be the best kid in the family like browning the nose what you call it so ਉੱਥੇ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਲਾਲਟੈਨ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ ਲੈਂਪ ਜਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਬਿਜਲੀ ਤਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਬੇਟਾ ਤਾਂ ਲੈਂਪ ਜਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ੀਸ਼ਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਸਾਫ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਅਤੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਸ਼ੀਸ਼ਾ ਟੁੱਟ ਗਿਆ I started crying. My mother said, what's matter with you? मैं कहा भाभी जी शीशा टूट गया पुत्रा शीशा तो 1.5 आने का आ जाएगा पर ख्याल रखें तू किसी का दिल ना तोड़ी बड़ा होके दिल नहीं जुड़ते you understand this is okay but don't break somebody's heart don't hurt somebody's feeling that is irreparable and I never forget those words that thing and another thing now you ask me the sweet memories one day I was very good in studies and all the people in my school dear school they were jealous of me because I always be in the principal meeting best student and they'll call me I'll have be invited as a specialty parties and lot of students they were not good they were jealous of me too you know they try to pull your legs one of these my neighbors he was very totally backbencher he was so jealous of me one day he was bad mouthing about me about my family and I was so bad I felt so bad I said my God what is he talking but I never wanted to fight back my mom watched me Tirlok what's wrong with you ki gall hai main kaha bhabhi ji kuch nahi you have to tell me like she will extract out of me what's wrong then I told her this she says do you think I'm that kind of a lady no do you think your father is that kind of no then why you listen to him and she narrated some proverb which I told my granddaughter one time when the time came कहता कोई कुत्ता कान ले गया somebody tells you कुत्ता तेरा कान ले गया कहता कुत्ते पीछे ना दौड़ो पहले अपना कान देखो अगर ਤੁਹਾਡਾ कान है ना उन्हें कहा कोई नहीं ले गया मैं और ले लूँगा just to calm down and one day that teaching which you can never read in a book anywhere my granddaughter Arshi one time दादा मैंने वो मुंडा तंग करदा है ते करदा है मैं कहा Arshi it happened to me when I told her she said Dada I applied that कुत्ता कान ले गया so these are the things you know these are the landmarks these are the things your parents can give you and talking another thing we were living in Delhi until my 10th grade which is 1953 we didn't have electric power we were still working with the lamps and all that and I was a drawing student can you imagine I started getting my glasses since I was in 9th grade because of lack of proper light illumination and that's the way we were but I was so much fascinated by art and all that my father would make sure because every day everybody was in the rush but on Sunday at least he'll make us everybody get up hurry up get up we'll do part together and then somebody will go do ane di reodiyan ya patase le aao ke wo prashad vando can I forget those things yeah, but I liked it so much I was in 8th grade one day I thought मैं के गुरुद्वारे च होके आया ना तो मैं लैंप जगा के तो मैं बत्ती ऑन करके आई स्टार्टेड रिसाइटिंग सुखमनी everybody in the house was sleeping oh my God my father got up and hugged me मैं सुता पिया मेरा पुत्र सुखमनी पढ़ रहा can you imagine what feeling I got that somebody cares for me somebody praises me this one incident And another incident which I recited in Gurdwara also one day, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚਾਂਦੀ ਦੇ ਲੜਕੇ ਦੋ ਤਰੇ ਨੇ ਸੁਸਾਈਡ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ, ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ parents have to sometime spend time with the kids. What happened was, ਦਿੱਲੀ ਜਲੂਸ ਨਿਕਲਦਾ ਸੀ ਸੀਸਗੰਜ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਨਾ, ਕੋਈ ਗੁਰਪੁਰਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਸੀਸਗੰਜ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਨਿਕਲ ਕੇ ਰਕਾਬਗੰਜ ਉੱਤੇ ਖਤਮ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਅਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਲਾਲਚ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਨਾਲ ਜਾਓਗੇ ਰੇਵੜੀਆਂ ਮਿਲਣਗੀਆਂ, ਡਰਾਈ ਫਰੂਟ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ, ਨਾਲੋਂ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਲਦੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਖਾਂਦੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ. So I got carried away. 9, 9:30, 10 ਵੱਜ ਗਏ. I didn't come home. We were living in Daryaganj and we were 8 miles away. And parents were worrying. What happened? Did he lost somewhere? What happened to him? Then my father and my brother, they both took the bikes. We didn't have cars. Then they went. Padganj bridge to upar dekha jalus ja raha. Then they saw one guy who was running that Avatar Singh Chadda. बड़ा ऊंचा लंबा 6 फुट लंबा चड्डा, चड्डे दी जरे दी होती साधना पिक्चर उसकी दुकान की शूटिंग भी है. बस 6 फुट 6.5 फुट लंबा सरदार शमला रखा हुआ. So you can imagine what personality. He is on the books. The Sikh जलूस दे अगे जा रहा. उन्होंने पूछा अवतार सिंह त्रिलोक सिंह देखे, कहना भैया जी फिक्र ना करो जा रहे. My father, they just grabbed me, put me on the bike, went home. And my father was so mad at me because I didn't tell them. He took my pajama and hit me where the sun never showed. And why you did that? Why did this? Then I was just sobbing. Can you believe what happened at 2:30 at night? My father got up, picked me up, hugged me. Oh my God, you were there in Jalous and I hit you. बच्चे में माफ कर. Can you believe how much respect I have for my father? Even elders make mistake, but there's nothing wrong sometimes to apologize to younger one for their mistake. ऐसे भाईया जी तुसी ठीक है नहीं बेटा मैं तेनू मारना नहीं सी चाहिदा, तू गलत काम ते नहीं कर रहा सी ना, मैं तो तेरी सेफ्टी वास्ते डर रहा सी ना. So those kinds of things, you know, care. Even though you could be poor, you could have nothing but love and care. And I use the same thing. Mr. Lamba ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਛੋਜੀ ਔਰ ਉਹ NGI ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਨੇ ਬੇਟਾ, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਇਹ ਕਰਦੀ ਸੀ ਨਾ, ਜਤਿੰਦਰ ਦੋਏ ਭਰਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਪੜ੍ਹੇ ਨੇ. ਇੱਕ ਕੰਟਰਾਈ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾ ਉੱਪਰ ਇੱਕ ਕਮਰਾ ਸੀ, ਆਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ NGI 'ਚ, ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਾਰੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਸੀ ਡਾਰਮੀਟਰੀ. ਵੀਕਐਂਡ 'ਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ, ਤੇ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਤੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਖੇਡਣਾ. ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਬਾਹਰ ਖੇਡਦੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਪੈਰ ਨੂੰ ਮੋਚ ਆ ਗਈ, ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਪੈਰ ਤੇ ਮਾਲਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ 2 ਘੰਟੇ ਕਰਕੇ. That kid started crying. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੋਈ? ਕਹਿੰਦਾ my own father would not have done that. ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ but I can't see you in the pain. ਔਰ ਫਿਰ ਬਾਅਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਇਤਨਾ ਅਟੈਚਡ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਕਦੀ ਜਾਏ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਪਿਓ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਤਰਲੋਕ ਸਿੰਘ ਤੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ, ਕੀ ਖਵਾਈ? ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਾਪਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ 10 ਜਨਮ ਲੈ ਲਓ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੰਕਲ ਦਾ ਮੁਕਾਬਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ, ਤੂੰ ਕੀ ਖਵਾਇਆ? ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਇਟਸ ਮਾਈ ਅਫੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਐਂਡ ਲਵ ਫॉर them, that's all, what else? You know how much, you know, these things count. People never forget all their life something that you care. ਔਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਦੀ ਗ੍ਰੈਜੂਏਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਈ ਟ੍ਰੇਨਿੰਗ ਉੱਥੇ ਵੂਮਨ ਹਾਲ 'ਚ, ਤਾਂ ਪੈਰੀ ਪਾਉਣ ਦੇਣ ਲੱਗਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਮਾਂ ਨੂੰ, ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਇਹ ਮਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਇਆ. 2 ਮਿੰਟ ਲੇਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਨਾ, ਇਹਨੇ ਖੰਡਾਣ ਵਾਲਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਘਰ ਟਾਈਮ ਸਿਰ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਏ? You have to watch them. So this all I learned from my parents and I practiced it. And that I explained to you about my mother. Then I explained to you about my father. One of my Buaji was widowed. She stayed with us. I learned a lot of things from her. Again, all the proverbs are Khan. Then we can say if somebody will give her PhD, she'll get one. आपने अखाड़ नहीं होंगे, proverbs and sayings. Name anything that she will have a proverb ready for that. So they might have not gone to the formal schooling, but through their experience in the life, they know a lot, and we all have to learn a lot. That's what I remember from my childhood. And again, another thing I learned, now she was a little old and she will not sometimes care about her dress, her mele te mele, and she'll come and I'm studying, my friends will come, she'll sit with me, beta, putar padhna hai, mera bacha bada afsar banega, you know, what is her? And I used to feel, well, she likes it. And my sister won't like when somebody comes, like they will give derogatory remarks. I said, no, we have to respect. So those are things I learned from my parents and elders. Always, That's all. And these things will always pay in your life. This is all I learned. And I've tried my best to give the same to my kids, Tarmeet and Sarmeet. And they did it mostly. Most of them, they never offended me. They lived in the society. Probably you guys are doing much better than that, but this is what I imparted to my kids. What else I can remember? Yeah, I still miss my, in my class, for example, second grade or third grade, fourth grade I did in Delhi. I remember some of my they were all 99% Muslim friends. Some of them I miss them a lot. I remember playing with them. Those things, those memories, they always haunt you. Some of them might have gone, they might have been dead. God knows where they are. Again, when she is English major, she had a lot of poetry, and I tell her, from the graveyard, all the poems, full many a flower that never but seen, full many a gems that never but seen. A lot of good gems are buried under ocean. A lot of flowers, they are born in desert, nobody see them. But that's the way the life is. God knows if I was there, nobody would have noticed me. Maybe God gave me a chance here to be with a community like we have in Glen Rock, and I enjoy my community here. That's all the memories I can think of. That's all I can share.
So, just looking back,
Sure.
what sort of message do you have for our viewers, for the future generations?
What message I can give? Life is the best teacher, and at every stage in life you can learn. Whosoever you associate with, be it your parents, your siblings, your friends, you have to learn things from that. As King Solomon once told, and I believe in that, I'm wise because I live among fools, and I live from their mistake. I learn from their mistakes. That's the best thing. Rather than you commit a mistake, better watch others, and they did a mistake, let me not do the same mistake. And then, as Guru Nanak teachings are the best. There is no book better than Guru Granth Sahib, this I can say. I'm a staunch believer in that. And I keep, whenever I get a chance in Gurdwara, your mom can say that, I keep professing that this is our stupidity. We are a community, we belong to such a great religion. And even Parles Buck, the Nobel Aryan, said, right in UNO, and millions of people watching in TV. You heard about Parles Buck, the Nobel Aryan. She wrote 2 books, Good Earth, and she wrote that book, Guide, that made the movie. She's a Nobel Prize winner. She said, do you have any possibility in the future that there could be one government, one peace system? And you know what her answer was? Probably you heard it or not? Yes. If people learn Guru Nanak's philosophy and they practice Guru Gobind Singh's way, the world is going to be the most peaceful. One government, one system, because that system is respect mankind. Nanak Naam Chadti Kala, Tere Bane Sarvat Kabal. And Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, probably you heard or not, he was vice president, then he became president, and one time he was in Russia as an ambassador to Russia, and Khrushchev and Bulgarin, they asked him, did India ever had a great, some hero like Alexander the Great and this, that he could rule the whole world? He said, yes. Yes, we had Guru Gobind Singh. If he wanted, he could have conquered the whole world just like that. He was such a great general that and what could ever produce. But he raised a community of Khalsa that they are going to rule for generation to come if they believe in their good qualities, what Guru Gobind Singh wanted. And even Gandhi was asked one time, because people listen to Gandhi, can you please stop smoking? Can you do that? He said, only Guru Gobind Singh can do, not me. Some principle. That's what the message I can give you. Because you know that Sikhs, our philosophy is that we don't live with people, we live for people. We live for people. The kripan we carry, this is not only for our protection, this is protection for others. If the time comes, you have to defend them at the cost of your own life. And delayed these days, because we had a Raksha Bandhan and all those festivals, people asked, do you believe it? He said, no. Why Sikh women have to tie a rakhdi around her brothers' wrist to defend? Guru Gobind Singh gave her this kripan, defend yourself and help others. You don't need this guy to help you. That is the spirit. And this morning in Katha also, they were saying by equality and all that. This guy said, can Sikh women do it? Of course. Sikh equality, independence, she can do anything what a man can do. Respect for women. And that my father strongly believed in. And my father used to say, agar mere ghar vich koi hai, te kudiyan de karke, meri bachkiyan de karke, kankan karke, Parmatma man inna de sadke man sab kuch denda. And unfortunately, in India, Prun Hatya, they are killing the females even before they are born. What a shame. What a shame. What right has God, anybody given you to kill some unborn baby? No. So they should realize from their point of view, yeah, they have right and they are better leaders. And then this guy this morning in Katha, you know what he said? If we Sikhs start respecting ladies and this, and then in turn the whole country does, the whole world does, world is going to be full of peace. Because woman is always loves peace. He never wants bloodshed. He never wants anybody, suffering. By nature. That's all I can say. As Guru Nanak said, be a Muslim, a good Muslim, be a Christian, be a good Christian, be a Sikh, good Christian, Sikh. That's all. Whatever you are, be good. Have faith in your religion. Stick to it. Do good things. And I can never ever forget, even though my education until higher secondary was in a Arya Samaj school, and I love Sanskrit so much, I can keep bragging. My wife will be mad at me. I delivered a speech in Sanskrit in 8th grade on the stage. Even the most was I memorized it. And my Sanskrit teacher begged me, come on, be a good Sanskrit student. I said, I can't go to the science group if I take Sanskrit. And in my physics lab, there was a big caption. You know what? Wish evil to none and forgive those who do you wrong. In parenthesis, Guru Nanak. Bure nal bura na karo, bure nal sara bula kare, bure nal bhi bala karo. Wish evil to none and forgive those who do you wrong. Guru Nanak. We should really believe in that and practice. And any time when the Sikhs came forward, even in this country, whether it was a Katrina's, when this United Sikh organized, or whatever this was, I remember standing up, and even though nobody asked me, I said, here's a time for you to come forward and help the community. I narrated 2 incidents. One was right here in this community. In 84, right after 84, there was a big apartment building in Passaic where all Gujarati friends were living. And they will not let the super exterminate roaches. This is against their religion. And my sister happens to live there for a while, Kuljit. And one day I had a big argument. He says, "Sir, you are asking me, but your other friends, they say, that's against our religion to kill roaches. So what can I do?" Guess what happened? The owner of the building, as hearsay, he set the fire or managed to this to get rid of roaches, to get rid of the tenants. He collected money from insurance, I don't know or not, but 200 families were on the road. And now Red Cross comes to help them. It's their job. You have to feed 200 families. The easiest thing was call a local McDonald's, give us 1,000 hamburgers and all that. The guy said, no, they are vegetarians, they're not going to eat hamburgers. And this guy came from England. There has to be a Sikh Gurdwara around. He found out, he called, Chaniji picked up the phone in his nice way. You know, we have your countrymen, they need help, and now we need food. Chaniji said, give us 2 hours and address and how many people will make arrangement. Then he called all the women who were home, Mrs. Balla, Mrs. Garewal, 8-10 jananiyon call kita. In matter of an hour and a half, food was in the kitchen, same kitchen. Baked beans, lobia, rice boil karke, salad cut liya, achar le aaye. Then he said, Gujarati those, Guru Ghar thi langar aave chhe, baisi raho. 2 days. Even though our wounds were still fresh from 84 when they attacked Golden Temple. The people said, forget that. That has nothing to do. Now they need our help. We don't take revenge. We don't avenge upon them. They were providing food for 2 days, 3 days till they need it. That was one incident. Another incident I will never ever forget in my life. Final year of my engineering. And we were 2 Sikhs in our class in that little group, subgroups. One was Amarpal Singh Sani, he's a Dr. Sani, he's a federal job, director of chemicals and supplies. And second was me. He comes, this is a Gurpurab time, November 1959 to be exact. Mr. Sethi and Mr. Sani, a canteen. If you have seen the polytechnics, it's still in a downtown pehle hunda si. The canteens in all. Go there, order 20 samosas, 20 gulab jamuns, 20 cups of tea, and 20 rasgullas, whatever. You guys have money or not, I'll give you. He said, no, we have it. The bar aake asi kende si, what is this guy? Bude da dimag kharab ho gaya, sade paise kharch karata hai. Okay, let's do it anyway. मैं कहनी मेरे ब्रदर की दुकान में पैसे उठा ले आवांगा ये अकाउंट लिख देंगे. Then when the tea came, then this came, he says, you guys might be thinking I'm crazy. He said, you know what? Next week we are off. It's a Guru Nanak's birthday. And today, if I'm standing in front of you, it's because of this community of these 2 young guys, Sikhs. I'm live because of these people. And everybody's looking, what is talking? Year was 1919, 1920. Bengal has a famine where Bengalis were dying like rats. There was no food. And the Britishers encouraged that because Bengalis were revolutionaries and they wanted them to die. No food available. In Dhaka, that was part of India, where this professor came from, Goswami. He said, we used to do Gurdwara, but then food was running short there. Then those people sent a telegram. Hardly there were phone back in 1919 that you could. Langar needs more material, we don't have, there are people flocking in. And they knew it's a famine. Then they got a reply telegraphically. Next 48 hours, do what you have to do. Go to neighboring villages, get jawar, kanak, bajra, and keep the langar going on. And we need to send the trucks from Amritsar to Dhaka, past Calcutta. It will take us at least 48 hours, and a lot of food is coming. But manage, and even if you have to buy at whatever cost, keep running the langar. And the Britishers found when the trucks were going, they stopped it. Why are you doing that? He said, we don't care. This is our Guru's order, Guru Nanak's order, langar must go on. We have to feed those who are hungry, period. Regardless what religion they are, what party they belong to. And first Britishers shoot them. Some say, idiots, if you start that, the Sikhs will be against you and will be thrown out. Don't let them do what they. So less than 48 hours the food was there and the langar was going on. And the guy says, I'm standing here. So it's my pledge. Wherever I am around Guru Nanak's birthday, either I go to Gurdwara or I call some Sikhs, or I have to be among Sikhs to celebrate Guru Nanak's birthday. This is a guy, Bengali guy, who learned. And this is Guru Nanak's blessing. Doesn't matter where we are. Even Bajpai, when he came one sometime, he saw the Gurdwaras. He says, I can bet even if you go to moon, at least a Sikh Gurdwara will be already there. Sikhan ne Gurdwara pehle hi bana ke rakha hona hai moon te bhi. People are so confident कि Sikhan da Gurdwara te milega hi milega. And finally of my tour, we were 2 Sikhs, तो professor planning करते थे किथे जाइए. कहते किधर नहीं होया सिखां दा गुरुद्वारा ते किधर ना किधर होएगा. ए दो मुंडे साडी हेल्प करनगे. People have that much confidence. कि इतने सिख जेड़े आए ने और अगर कोई एक या दो सिख किसी पूरी गड्डी भी ट्रेन करते सी ना, we are safe. We are safe. And I tell you one true incident, 1960. I was in final year of tour, all industry, and we were 2 Sikhs. And साड़ी पूरी बोगी ने चारों सी. बर्थ पूरा ना भाई 100 के जाना सी. ते अहमदाबाद तो अगे आए ना तो कोई प्रोफेसर जरूर रिश्तेदार 2 कुड़ियाँ सी. तो उन्होंने कहा भाई सेफ है बोगी है इहदे च भाई बह जान बह गई. तो उधर आवर ट्रेन स्टॉप्ड एट झांसी. तो उत्थे कोई कानपुर दे मुंडे आए और दे वर पीपिंग अराउंड एंड दे से oh there are some girls. The way their kids are, they started fooling around. And those girls were like, didn't feel comfortable. And and then one of the Jenny guy, he didn't want to bother, कहना मैं नहीं involve होना. This our classmates. Then किसी ने किया जाके भाई तरलोक ਨੂੰ उठाओ. बस भी लेटे वैसे मैं उठ के पगड़ी की थी तो मैं जाके मैं कहता हूँ शर्म नहीं आती. I started arguing with them. Why you want to touch? They are sisters, you know. Why you want to this? What is the matter? Oh, हम ये हैं वो हैं हम कानपुर के हैं. The way they are. They started arguing with me. So in the meanwhile, the other thing got shot कि भाई इथे heat up हो जाएगा. The other guy went there and अमरपाल सिंह सानी ਉਹਦੀ ਸੌਣ ਦੀ ਆਦਤ ਸੀ. ਜਿੱਥੇ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਤਦੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਅਮਰਪਾਲ ਸੇਠੀ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਬਹਿਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਪਏ ਨੇ. ਉਹ ਬਾਹਰ ਆਇਆ ਜੂੜਾ ਸੰਭਾਲਦੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਆਪ ਦੇਖੇ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਆਪ ਦੇਖੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਸੀ ਟਿਕਾ ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਫੈਲੇ. कौन हो तुम और बात करो. वो कहता है एक सरदार और निकल आए. दे भी नहीं ते लिटरली रैन अवे. अरे एक सरदार और निकल आया पता नहीं और कितने सरदार अंदर और होने. They literally ran away. So that was the image of Sikhs. We are protectors. And this was the guts only. ਉਹ ਅਗਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਓਵਰ ਪਾਵਰ ਕਰਦੇ 15-20 ਮਿੰਟ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੋਵਾਂ ਦਾ ਬੜਥਾ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੰਦੇ. But these were the guts. And Guru Gobind Singh gave us the guts. So that's the moral of the story is, yeah, you're never alone. Why Guru is there with you? And then she can write books on that. But we left many Canada, udhar gaye. Those we went through those days. Okay, we started a job in Canada. I didn't start an engineer right away. Koi labor job mil gayi. She worked in a textile mill here in this country, running 80 machines. मैं अपनी मिल च नहीं सी लैके जाता. सुंदरबाद मिल नजफगढ़ रोड ते कही कि मैं कितना विआह किया है. शोर पैंदा इंडस्ट्री च. यू नो योर फादर वर्क इन इंडस्ट्री टू. तो इन्हें काम किया है और जिसले काम करती सी ना तो अमेरिकन तकते सी कि इंडियन औरत है कोई. एक मेरा दोस्त सी उन्होंने जॉब चाहिए सी. मैं क्या आ जा तेरी भरजाई कहना आफरीन है ये काम कर सकती मैं नहीं. बट नेसेसिटी वी सर्वाइव्ड. फिर कैनेडा की होया सी. वी स्टार्टेड अ जॉब. वी वर इन नवंबर. आई डिडंट हैव एनफ वीक्स. तो फैक्ट्रियां बंद होंदियां 3 हफ्ते ते we didn't have enough weeks to collect unemployment. मैं की करा? Somebody sent her to Kitchener office उथे जाओ. I गया. The guy says, well, you're not eligible. The only thing is he wrote me a check for $100. मैं कहा, this is under welfare. कहता those people don't have. वाहिगुरु is my witness. मैं चेक फाड़ के ना उथे सुटिया. मैं कहा, you know, जिस बंदे को कड़ा होता है ना, he always gives, he never gives. If I were right out of insurance, then I don't want arms. कहता, my God, I heard about your community and today I'm seeing an example in front of me. मैं कहा, what will happen? मैं कहा, God will help me. That faith. मैं घर आया, एक घर सी, रिंकू was just born. तो वो लैंडलॉर्ड जैसे पहले रहंदे सी ना, कहंदा मिस्टर सेठी हाउस रिबेट आई है टैक्स दी है $20 ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਹੈ. $20 was a big help back in 67. मैं कहा वाहिगुरु इन्हें तो भेजे ना. Next day I'm walking through a town guard going to unemployment office looking for a job. एक आदमी कहना वाहिगुरु आप टुर के आंदा है बेटा. Mr. Singh. I went there. कहना can you do us a favor? New Year Eve we always have special parties at different country dresses. So we like your turban. Can you make 1 dozen turbans just like that, gold cloth and nice this? They make you want to make a fun? He said, no, we don't want to make a fun. We want to come and dress as Maharajas. As long as you don't make fun, I'm ready to help you. Okay. ये उन्हें मैंने कपड़े मार्केट का भी दसिया इतने तो कपड़ा ले लो. मैं क्या I'll make it, it'll take me a day. माया मुया ला के मैं तले उन्हों कुल्ले होंदे ने जो पठान रख के मिनी में 12 पगड़ियाँ बना के ना पैक करके कहता उन्हें custom material में देता. He gave me that and gave me $150 on the top of my labor. मैं कहा वाहिगुरु तू मैंने काम देता है मेरी लेबर है. What more I can ask? What more I can ask? So God always helped me. If you have a faith, my father had a feeling कि रब चाहेगा ना तुसी बेटा पानी और हवा ते भी जिंदा रहोगे. तो रब नहीं चाहेगा तो दूध मक्खन मलाइयाँ ते भी नहीं जिंदा रहोगे. It's a faith that we have survived, changing so many countries, going through that. And now पिछों जेड़े साडे relatives आए ने 4 बंदे 4 कारां पहुंच जांदियां सी. The day I left, against the wishes of my parents, father कहंदे सी तू जाएगा मैं गड्डी थले सिर दे के मर जावांगा. She was vice principal in the school English PGT and I was assistant production manager in Delhi Cloth Mill Bharat Mill unit. Father कहंदे किथे जा रहे हैं तू मजदूरियां करन जा रहे हैं. पर वो लिखे ऐसी. I got admission for masters in Leeds. I didn't join. I came here, I got admission in MMIT, but I didn't join. पहले सेमेस्टर के पैसे देने सी मेरे को पैसे नहीं सी. Then I said let me do MBA. चलो नौकरी मिल जाएगी कोई ना कोई चल रहा है. And she went through worse. इतने आके इन्हीं क्वालिफिकेशन के बजाय इन्हें डे केयर सेंटर में डायपर चेंज कर दी रही. But gradually we succeeded. A Sikh can never go wrong as long Guru is there with him and he will always survive. Always.
Thank you, Uncle G, for sharing your memories. Really appreciate it.
Anytime.